Okay, we're going to call to order the Tuesday, August 12th combined discussion and action meeting. If you'd all please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nothing better than a night with JROTC for the pledge. Ms. Macro, can you do roll call?
Yes. Dr. Anderson.
Here.
Ms. Arendt.
Here.
Mr. Caligari.
Here.
Ms. Chudowitz.
Here.
Mrs. Purcell.
Here.
Mr. Sokolsky.
Here.
Mrs. Stepnick.
Here.
Mr. Strapke.
Here.
Dr. Richardson is not joining us this evening, and Student Representative Ms. Naomi Casey.
Here.
Welcome, Naomi. All right, the board met in executive session on August 12th, 2025 to discuss matters of litigation, safety, personnel, and real estate. We're going to do a recognition of our JROTC instructors. Ms. Macro.
Yes, Dr. Thomas is going to be presenting Colonel Nosak and Master Sergeant Butler to us this evening.
Colonel and Master Sergeant, can you join me?
We're going to honor these two esteemed gentlemen for, who's going to hold this, for basically, I think, bringing our program, again, into an area of pride. I know at one point our recruitment was down. Colonel and Master Sergeant have done an incredible job of bringing our Air Force RGTC program into, I would say, the 21st century at this point. And I love what both gentlemen do for our program, as many other people in the building. We'll start with Master Sergeant Kevin Butler. He is hereby awarded the Sub-Region Outstanding Enlisted Instructor of the Year, Region 4, Sub-Region 3, for the academic year 24-25, and this is signed by Gina C. Humble. You guys will have to help me with that. GS-13 DAF, Regional Super Department of the Air Force. Thank you, DAF. HQ Air Force Junior ROTC. Congratulations, Kevin. And for Colonel Nosak, Sub-Region Outstanding Officer Instructor of the Year, Region 4, Sub-Region 3 for the academic year 24-25, again signed by Gina Humble, Department of the Air Force. Thank you, Colonel.
I just want to thank the board for all the support in the school district. We really couldn't do this. This is more a recognition of you and the cadets, because it's the cadets to do everything that's recognized and all your support. So we're just coasting on all the support you give us and everything that the cadets do. So it's not so much about us, it's about the cadets, and that's where all the emphasis should be.
Thank you so much.
That's great.
Go enjoy the rest of the summer night.
All right, thank you, Ms. Macro. And just like that, a new school year is upon us. While our students and families have been enjoying the summer sunshine, our administration and staff have been hard at work making preparations for the 25-26 school year. From improvements to safety and security, to providing families with visibility into student learning and coursework, establishing the portrait of a graduate, to updates here at our high school facilities, to hiring exceptional candidates, to fill vacant roles like the two wonderful women who are with us this evening. We couldn't be more excited to see what the 25-26 school year will bring. If you've driven around our campus, our fall sports and activities are in full swing. The band, football, and cheerleading are spending more time, and soccer are spending more time on campus than at home these days. Cross country, girls tennis, and volleyball have hit the ground running, and the golf teams are chipping away on the fairways at Meadowbrook. Our soccer players are running time trials and getting prepared for their first scrimmages as well. And I would add that while we are saddened by the anniversary of the Rustic Ridge explosion, we are excited for all that a new school year brings our students and family. It is certainly a good time to be a Mustang. With that in mind, I'd like it if you would all be obliged to have a moment of silence in honor of the Rustic Ridge anniversary. Thank you so much. Dr. Walsh, on to your report.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. I'll echo some of your sentiments. As August arrives, our campuses are buzzing with the energy of students returning for extracurricular activities. The sound of the band practicing, the fall sports beginning their training signals the start of a new school year. We're prepared for a successful opening, and there are some key dates that will be upon us soon. Meet the Teacher, August 13th and 14th for the elementary and secondary. This event has been very well received from community in the past. Our faculty kickoff is scheduled for August 18th with planned differentiated professional development opportunities focused around AI and technology. We're looking forward to seeing all of our 3,451 students arriving on August 20th. Preparation is on track across all departments, from curricular to facilities. Specifically, rebranding. As you're arriving on the high school campus, you might notice that our Mustang is back on the building. Our Plum script is proudly displayed around all of our campuses. As we were going through the portrait of a graduate, that was one of the concerns in regards to would we be able to successfully rebrand, and I believe we have. You can also notice the new scoreboards, generously donated by Pat McAfee and the We're All Mustang Here team. They're a wonderful enhancement for our students, family, and community. There's a brief presentation with all of our updates that will occur later in the agenda, but we're anticipating a great start to the 2025-26 school year. And I would just end with some last minute news. Ms. Stepnick, we just received from the School Board Association that honor roll, school board service, and the governing board of the Pennsylvania School Board Association proudly presents a certificate of appreciation to Michelle Stepnick, Plum Borough School District, in recognition of 10 years of service. So congratulations to you.
It's only been 10 years.
Only 10 years. 10 years, that's congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations, Mrs. Stepnick. Student representatives report.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start with some activities and events that the students have been a part of this summer. The National Honor Society has had committees beginning working on some projects, and one committee, parking, has nearly finished their tasks. The parking committee heads of the committee work diligently to provide seniors with information about obtaining a parking pass, when to paint it, and how to turn everything in. The last date of painting was August 9th, and these students really love this aspect of senior year and are so glad it was brought back. Car washes, the first one was held on August 2nd, and they raised a total of $1,076 for Make-A-Wish. The committee heads plan on adding more dates for future car washes soon. The Flocking Committee has been extremely productive in their ventures around the Plum community, totaling $105 at 4 houses, with more planned. Fall sports and activities. The Plum Marching Band completed their band camp on August 8th with an excellent performance of their show, El Cumbanchero. The band performed just yesterday at Kennywood Fall Fantasy Parade and is eager to return to the school on August 18th to display the show for Plum's faculty. Fall sports such as football, golf, girls volleyball, girls tennis, cheerleading, cross country, and soccer have all begun preparing for their season, and the students are very excited. Meet the Teacher Night is on Wednesday, August 13th at 5 p.m., and it will give comfort to many of the upcoming freshmen who I know from experience are likely trepidatious about the upcoming year. And I wanted to mention this section I titled Plum Pride because, as Dr. Walsh mentioned, the additions in signage, Plum logos, and school colors around the high school have added a touch of pride to the school that I know I personally felt made the school feel more whole from one aspect to the next. I broke up these events and activities for the sake of clarity, but I truly do think the more we think of the student body's activities as united, the more our community and schools will be too. I believe we are all eager to begin this new year and embrace the changes that come with it, additions to faculty, changes in schedules, and simply the growth from one year to the next. I cannot express my eagerness to truly begin working with all of you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Casey. That was a good inaugural address right there. All right, Ms. Macro, citizens' comments.
If there's anybody in the audience that would like to make a comment at this time, we ask you to step to the podium, state your name and your residency within Plum, and you'll be provided 3 minutes to speak. This is just a reminder that this is a time for you to share your comments, concerns, and suggestions with the board rather than a question and answer session with the board. I'll put 3 minutes on the monitor so you can keep track of your time, but also give you a 30-second warning when your time is coming to a close. When you're finished speaking, I'll ask that you step to the clipboard at the end of this table and write your name down so I spell it correctly for the minutes. Is there anybody that would like to speak at this time? Back to you.
All right, wonderful, thank you. All right, academic achievement and activities, myself as lead board liaison. We have the 25-26 O'Block Elementary School-wide Title I plan.
Yes. This is our standard Title I plan. This predominantly is our proposal that goes into e-grants every year. It's just slightly short of $200,000. It supports a reading specialist at O-Block as well as professional development around reading programs at O-Block. And the key word here is school-wide. It does support students in grades K through 4.
Any questions or concerns?
I have a question. Why isn't Pivot in the same Title I?
Generally,
I can't imagine there's just needed one building.
Generally, it's based upon the free and reduced front lunch rate, so it's the federal definition, not a local or state definition. So it depends on the building that is applicable, and it goes by free and reduced lunch.
Any other questions or concerns? Do we have 5 to move it forward? Thank you, guys. All right, letter B, 25-26 district updates presentation.
So, Dr. Anderson and members of the board, every year we open up with a few slides and highlighting some of the good work that was done over the summer. There's been a lot of heavy lifting. I think if you have heard some of the comments about our facilities, Ms. Schaefer, our maintenance team, our facilities team, in all of our buildings have been working throughout the summer to create a wonderful environment for our students. Ms. Macro, can you go to the next slide, please? Some things that you'll notice that are different is because, and Dr. Boyers will explain this slide, is that because of our Portrait of a Graduate, our mission vision, our 4 strategic pillars, are embedded in our presentation here and in future presentations, that we will stay focused and aligned in regards to our strategic goals. Hopefully you're going to feel the same way I did after reflecting over these slides in regards to the good work that this board has moved forward over the past year and what our students can anticipate as they enter school within the next week. Dr. Boyers?
Thank you, Dr. Walsh. Just reflecting on what Dr. Walsh had to say, I guess I equate kind of the process to get here as kind of a runner. You look at me and you're like, he's a runner? Yeah, I ran a couple half marathons, and there's a lot of training that goes into it before the actual launch. And the training sometimes is the most difficult work, but then when you actually start and go across the start line and go to the finish line, the journey itself can be grueling as well. And so when I step back and I think about the work that's been accomplished as we embark on welcoming our staff back tomorrow, welcoming our students back next week, and the launch of what's to come, it's truly incredible. We've made a strategic effort with support of this board to align. And so we're trying to make sure that initiatives have cohesiveness and they're intertwined, so things aren't happening in isolation and they're feeling interconnected. And so what you see here is the work of our Portrait of a Graduate as the foundational step to launch into our mission, vision, and vision, which are clearly articulated within our comprehensive plan. And then our goals that really support the foundation of who we are as an organization, how we operate, and how we serve our students. And then lastly, being future focused, where are we moving? And so our goal is purposeful learning to transform tomorrow's leaders. That's our vision, and that's where we're looking to go. And this evening, we want to share a couple of initiatives that are going to help us achieve our goals throughout the year. And as Dr. Walsh touched on, we'll be making sure that we're benchmarking and sharing out on our progress. And if we're not making progress, we'll own that and figure out how we move forward for the betterment of the organization. Oops, my apologies. I almost said this next slide to Mrs. Macro, but I have the thing. So first and foremost, our Portrait of a Graduate. This launch has been a long time coming. Started last fall, initiative with over 80 plus members that came together. Our portrait has been displayed. Our portrait has been shared with our staff, but this is the first true launch of our portrait. We wanted to start the school year out of the gate with it. And so the portrait will be alive and living within our lesson planning to help ensure that our teachers are thinking about it as they're preparing to deliver that quality instruction. I shared with the board the metacognitive activity that will be happening in real time within our classrooms, that as students are learning and reflecting on the learning goals within the classroom, the learning activities, where are the competencies that they're hitting within that portrait, so that way they both, as a student and staff member, have a reflective piece of how that's alive within the classroom, as well as the school culture. And then lastly, it's just, again, that embedment of the culture. So we have Rachel's Challenge and we have Portrait coming together as a means to promote positivity within our cultures and safe and supportive schools. Artificial intelligence, Dr. Walsh hit on earlier. I'm extremely excited for the August 18th. We've had a lot of time in planning our district level in service. We're bringing in a lot of community partners that will be helping to develop and lead AI initiatives, along with some of our teachers and administrators that have taken a knack to AI and how it can be utilized to think differently as a thought partner, to differentiate, to establish outlines and presentations, but also call attention to the AI as a tool and making sure that we're being respectful and citing that tool as a means to driving what we're doing forward. The periodic update to the board, as I touched on earlier, we will have a change to our balanced scorecard. Internally, we're having conversations about what that will look like with cohesion and alignment to our new comprehensive plan. And we'll be reporting out on that at a more frequent level. This board supported recommendation of social studies and world language resource adoption. We've deployed the training for PD as of last June and started that. All of our resources are in hand and they're ready to be deployed on August 20th when our students come into our classrooms. And then lastly, something I want to hit on is the shift in the resource review. And you're not going to hear me say that word ever again. I'm going to stop saying the word resource review after I present this to you. Mrs. Macro, if you don't mind, I don't need you to do that either, Mrs. Macro, I can do it myself. My apologies. So we're going to have a significant shift in our approach to, our cyclical approach to looking at our curriculum, instruction, and obviously our resources. In the last 6 years, we have adopted brand new resources. And really, when we took an initial look, we had resources that were 20, 30 plus years old. And now we have all up-to-date resources. And so we've closed that gap to support teaching and learning. But the next gap we have to close is, what is research telling us? What is best practice pedagogy in teaching and learning? Not only in teaching and learning, but also programmatically. We need to prepare students for a different future than maybe a 9-period day in 42 minutes. There may be opportunities for internships, different experiences where they can collaborate with local businesses and or find experiences so when they go to that next phase of life, whether it be the military workforce or college, they have different opportunities to learn what is of interest to them and what is not. And so we're going to look to that shift. But in our program review, again, no longer a resource review, what you'll be hearing in the spring is, what is the research telling us? What are the top districts that are performing well? What are they doing that maybe we're not? What opportunities do we have to celebrate within our programs? But then more importantly, what are those trends and connections? How do we take that portrait and bring it really into our classroom and make sure that we're preparing students for the next step within their K-12 journey, but also after they graduate here from the Plum Borough and they move on to their next endeavors. And so what you'll see differently in our next recommendation is, you're not going to be hearing about just about textbooks. You're not going to be hearing about just digital resources. What you're going to be hearing about are those pieces right there. What are the assessments, those real-world connections, the instructional practices, the trends, and then lastly, the resources are obviously a means to support where we're moving. So we've closed that gap. Now it's important to jump into best practice and research and say what is going on and what do we need to change to improve the outcomes for teaching and learning.
I have a quick question. The standardized testing data is here. It's very good to see laid out this way.
Yeah.
What is the statistical significance of having, I think we have around 300 children who are opting out of standardized testing. Do you have an idea on what the statistical significance is of that data? Is it big or is it small or in between?
Yeah, so I do. I have this sort of trend.
Of course you do.
I can tell you who those people are. I have it memorized. What happens is, so from the federal level down, from accountability of assessment, we have a 2% window of opt-out, if you will. The only true opt-out opportunity in the state is a religious opt-out, although we recognize that parents need to have choice in how their students engage with state assessments. After that 2% threshold is hit, every student after that point is now below basic immediately, and it hits our data immediately. So again, once that 2% threshold is hit, after anything else above that opt-out happens, it immediately goes into a below basic category and takes us down in our proficiency and advanced overall rating. And the thing you have to think about, or the thing that we have to think about, is if you're let's say, an 8th grade student, and you opt out of the PSSA, you're not just opting out of the PSSA, you're opting out of the math PSSA, the ELA PSSA, and the science PSSA. So we're getting hit 3 times. Again, not a Plum Borough matter, but a state and federal matter. We're getting hit 3 times for that opt-out. And again, I'm not suggesting parents shouldn't have choice. We've done, I think, a really good job of explaining why we assess, what we do with the assessment data. We've had folks who have historically opted out who've approached me and said, Ashley, I appreciate the conversation, I appreciate the correlation to this, that, and the other, and because of that, we're going to give it a try. And I'm going to make a bold comment. If we really believe in our educators and we really believe in what they're providing in the classroom, the anxiety behind state testing, it shouldn't really be there. It's a snapshot. It's one snapshot in a period of time. And what we want is we want students to do their best. And I remember one of our parents who approached me and said, you know what, she wasn't confident. She did it. She did it because the conversations we had, yada, yada. And she had a positive experience. Now, it doesn't matter about the score. The point is that she took the assessment. I know her score because they just came out, but I'll let them celebrate that before I celebrate that with them. So again, I think the important part there is that 2% threshold. Once we surpass that 2% threshold, we're immediately going to a below basic score on that bank, and that's going to bring down our overall advanced proficiency.
Do we get to see the raw data below the opt-out scores? So once we go above 2%, those scores hurt us.
Correct.
Do we get to see the raw data if we took them out of the equation, or is that not something that we have access to?
It's in the aggregate, so no, not necessarily. We can see how people are lumped in those categories, so those opt-outs would eventually fall into that below basic category, but we can't necessarily come back and disaggregate that. We can see the global perspective from the state level, but we can't necessarily disaggregate that out internally. Again, because of the opt-out process and the auditing process in an opt-out, we have to keep those records, but it would be hard to make that direct, immediate correlation. I don't know if it sounds a little convoluted, but that's the...
That's very helpful. Yeah. I think it's something that school boards need to consider with regard to our advocacy around how well our children are performing regardless of how many take the standardized test, because 300 children out of 3,500 is a lot, I think. But if there's a way for us to show the raw data and tell people, hey, Plum Borough's doing much better than you think. If I take the raw data, this is how well we're performing compared to other schools. But I don't really know how to accomplish that. It sounds like it's a advocacy and policy issue at the state level. So I don't know. I just think it's interesting. So I appreciate your feedback on that. I really do.
So Mr. Caliger, I agree with you. The advocacy policy, that's a piece of it. Another piece is that some districts that promote how wonderful their scores are require it to be a graduation requirement. We do not. They also requirement as a piece to move into advanced placement or courses. It's part of the factor. We do not. Our students do very well here in the district, and part of a better alignment with our balanced scorecard and our annual report is looking at those local pieces of data that we can have in comparison to state data to show how well our students are doing. And those are internally some of the conversations we're having right now. And I think that's what you were getting at, is regard to how do we shine a light on the good things that are happening here outside of a snapshot in time.
Yeah, the state assessments are very, very beneficial. They're necessary. But I know that we also make accommodations for students to make the testing as easy as we can do within the guidelines. So there are breaks, things like that. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd really like to see the raw data, because 300 children, I think, is statistically significant. But it sounds like we're working on ways to get more children involved and doing it in a non-threatening way. So
And are
I think
those-
that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's good for the public to know that.
Yeah, are they 300 distinct students, or is one student being counted across 3 tests, or does one
It
student not
depends.
taking 3 tests
It depends,
counted?
Dr. Anderson. So most people, when they opt out, are going to opt out of all 3, depending on the grade level. But there are circumstances where a parent may have their child sit for the ELA assessment and then opt out of math and science. So we have those one-offs that do happen. Typically, when you opt out, they're opting out of all of the assessments.
But when you count them, are you counting 300 distinct students opted out of any number of tests?
So I don't know if I used the word 300 or the number 300.
I don't know, it was something that came
Someone
up in
picked that number.
conversation one day.
The number fluctuates from year to year.
Yeah.
And as the data comes in, we'll have more accurate numbers
I think it's been upwards of 300 in the past.
in the past, but it's moving in a better direction.
We are trending downward.
Yes, and
It's still high.
so we're moving in a better place. But I think another factor is there's a lot of districts surrounding Plum that has had a challenging time since COVID and rebounding in regards to our scores. Before COVID, I remember standing in front of the board at the time sharing the launch pad, and out of 75 areas of quintiles in regards to, as a district, of how we score, I think 47 of them were pink, which means our students were losing ground. The following year, or it might have been the year after, I believe it was down to 15, and most of them were green and blue. We were moving in a very good direction, and some districts like Plum just have had a difficult time since COVID in regards to reteaching and rebounding, but I believe we're starting to move in a better direction. And part of it was by building out the foundation that we've talked about and looking at our instructional practices and moving into a program review to make sure that we're giving our teachers all the tools necessary for our students to be successful.
Yeah, without a doubt, I don't think it's like a school district issue. I just feel like maybe there's school boards across the state, there's 500 school boards, that maybe we can do a little bit of advocacy to say, hey, listen, we need to look at state and federal measurements in a different way and make them fair and honest.
Well, if I may, I disagree with and agree with, on both ends, the standardized testing argument. And they're not mandatory, but yet we still have teachers in the district that tell kids, how you do on this depends on where you get placed. So for some kids, why do it? Who cares? I'm not doing it. And I get it, because it's not a requirement. And so if I don't do well in this, to your point, snapshot in time, then maybe I don't get that class that I want next year. And so there is that stigma around that. So that's a message that we as a district need to keep pushing down into the classrooms and to the kids. It's just a snapshot in time. It has no bearing on where you get placed. And because I'm speaking from personal experience with that. But we also have a group of kids that their first time taking PSSAs was 3rd grade. And guess what? School got canceled mid-April that year. And then the next year they were here only 50% of the time and then expected to jump in and take PSSAs. So there is a bubble class, and my child is part of that bubble class, right? And so how do we change the stigma and how do we change the conversation? So I challenge all of us in this room to find a better way to do that. If you want those numbers to change, giving whatever argument you want isn't going to matter. We have to find a better way to fix that stigma, because again, My son's class is part of that group that they should have started taking PSSAs and didn't, and they were only here for half the year. And so, no, a big chunk of those kids opt out, and in addition to others. And so, again, that is up to all of us in this room to find a better way to hone in on why we need to be having these tests and what they really mean, and that, no, they don't impact what you want to take next year. And it is that snapshot in time, and that message needs to be said over and over and over through every classroom in the district that have to take them. So, yes, I agree they're important, and they have some sort of purpose. But do I think that I want kids sitting around stressing out over a 3-hour test because they fear that that's what's going to help or hurt them next? No, I don't want that. So we got to find a middle ground. And I know, I speak differently than everybody else in here about it, but I feel very passionately about standardized tests. I hate them.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Stepney. Go ahead.
I have two,
All right. So if we look for our student-centered learning, innovation, and future-ready skills, building off of the foundation that Dr. Walsh and Dr. Blurs have sort of foreshadowed here, you can see there's a lot of district-wide improvements of IT, our web branding, and our safety and visitor management, as well as hardware and instructional technology. You will notice Dr. Blurs and the IT team will be launching pretty soon our new website that's going to be updated. Similar format, a little bit different branding, which I think turns over back to Dr. Blurs, safe and supportive schools, because
You guys didn't well plan this whole.
Aligns our strategic goals. Right. So obviously, two quick things: safety and security that are coming out and forthcoming. One is our Open Gate deployment. Obviously, there's been some media coverage around the Open Gate, which is positive in promoting the school district and our efforts to have safe and supportive schools. This afternoon, we met with Chief Conley and members of his team to talk about the Open Gate deployment. He applauds the district for this initiative, and we talked about, again, that continued collaboration on how we move forward as we deploy this for our first home game, but also our visitors within the schools. The other piece that's kind of unique to us, last year we received a lot of coverage on our Centegix efforts. We are going to be switching our visitor management tool away from the previous tool to Centegix. The beauty of this is it brings both the wearable solution and visitor management under one umbrella from a management standpoint, but it also has some significantly enhanced features that I'm not going to go into detail about at this point in time, just because safety and security sometimes is the best kept secret in the district. But those are two new deployments that are going to be happening throughout. I just wanted to highlight the integration of those two tools.
So our facilities department has been really busy. I'm sure if you've been around campus, you've seen all the work that has been going on. Very impressive. Ms. Schaefer as well as Ms. Carnes have been really hard at work. So just to review some of the things that you've approved and then has been carried out in the summertime. They have resurfaced all of the wood floors in all of the schools. They look really, really nice. And they continue to replace the bottle filling stations, a custodial cleaning program, which is new, which is pretty interesting. This is Mrs. Carnes' area over custodial cleaning. They're using microfiber now instead of the old mops, and it's really nice to be able to just invest in that daily tool that they have to use every day, and it's a much easier, much cleaner way to go about it. And then also, too, we are performing right now a high school facility study, and that'll wrap up and provide us for a short-term and long-term capital plan outside of these larger projects that we've been talking about. At the high school, they've really been doing a great job, interior and exterior. I'd maybe even challenge if you look around this room to figure out what has been painted and looks a lot nicer. It's difficult to see sometimes, which is awesome. It means they've done a really, really good job, because it seems like the things that they have done just look like they've always been there. The installation of the new pool pack that is about 2 weeks out is on the roof. And the activation of that, it's a delicate certification process where pool pack actually comes in, but that should provide a much better environment in the pool area. That's a very big expensive piece of equipment that nobody will see because it's on the roof, but hopefully they will feel it. The new cooling tower is really the same thing. It's on top of the tech head wing down there, and it's a huge piece of equipment, but it is really important to cool this building. It's a very large building, and a new energy efficiency as well. It's a better environment throughout the building, as well as getting some efficiencies. The roadway and parking lot repairs, they patched various areas and then sealed the entire lot. It looks nice, plus it should extend the life of the surface. Tennis courts really got really ahead of that, which was nice to be able to see them already out there, the tennis team practicing, and the community using that. There's a few touch-ups that they're going to do as far as the windscreens are still going to come in, and the roof replacement is ongoing still. They're almost complete there. They just have some metal work to finish up. That was a grant-funded project, and so they were able to replace various portions of this building. And the elevator modernization is ongoing, and then also pretty significant painting in the cafeteria, painting over some old logos, and really freshening up that space. On the next slide too is some really cool tables that they've.
Those are awesome.
Yeah, they're really cool. At the middle school, the HVAC equipment and building automation. This is again one of those things that you're really not going to see, but they went into every single unit ventilator in the classrooms and then ran wire to all of those units and all the rooftop units. And they will be continuing to work on that. They are all active and working, but the automation and controls on the back end will take some time to be able to program those and work out all the bugs in that system, but that all of that classroom work is complete. The new dust collector is available, and it will arrive on site in the next few days. That'll be hooked up really for the start of school. A ton of work went into that space as far as replacing the lighting and the ceilings to be able to get to that ductwork, and then put it all back together again is really nice. So there's a fresh ceiling, fresh lighting in that space as well. And functionality should be way better instead of being put out onto the roof. The new doors and windows, that project is going to start in September, and they're going to do that off cycle, so they'll be working in the evenings and going room by room and replacing the windows and the external doors. The playground area as we've been working on that at Holiday Park. At O Block, the kindergarten wing replacement is starting. That was a project that we accelerated and pulled out of the larger project, because there's active roof leaks in that area. And then we've been obviously working on the final details for the larger addition and renovation at that building. And then finally at Pivot, in-house, we did a bunch of window repairs there, and then we're also looking at the retention pond as always there. So a lot of work. I was discussing with Ms. Schaefer, and she was exhausted in my office today, so I would love to have her come and take all the credit for all this stuff, because she really deserves it, but she also really needed a night off. So if you see a custodian or any of our maintenance guys, they've been really active and working hard, so we thank them for all their efforts.
Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
It's just been a pet peeve of mine for a couple of years. I did not go by it this afternoon, so I don't know if it was repaired, but the sign again going into the intermediate has again missing letters.
Yep.
Not the same letters this time. This time it's 3 or 4 letters.
Yep.
Kids are coming back next week. Teachers are coming back. And the first impression they're going to get going up that hill is the school sign. So we keep putting a Band-Aid on it or putting a letter up there. But we gotta come up with some solution, even if it's putting plexiglass or something sealed in front of the letter so that they can't access it. Because I live in it, I mean, I'm by the school quite a bit, like I said today, I did not go by. But first impression is not a good one when you go up and the school's not even spelled out correctly.
Oh, it is bad.
Yeah.
It's not the first time.
Is it current?
Hasn't-
Is it current?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's currently broken.
You know why? Because, I'll answer the question, is that they believe they had a better solution for fixing those letters, but we all have
That was
also,
always removed, is still there.
yeah.
Now they've pulled 3 or 4.
I understand. But we have talked about if this solution did not work, to have a better solution. We can't keep replacing letters. We're all in agreement to that.
Yeah.
It is a pet peeve of mine. When I go by, the first thing I look at is the signage, and I look at the flags to make sure they're not weathered. But we have been having multiple conversations. I believe Ms. Schaefer thought she had a better solution. If you're telling me letters are missing, because I didn't notice it, then we're going to move on to the next solution and have a long-term fix because,
Yeah.
It's, sure, yeah, we.
No, they looked good for like 3 minutes, I feel like, and then all summer, like, pieces of it has been going.
I don't even know if it could be done, but even, let's catch the person that's doing it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think we could say thank you too to Mr. McAfee for his appearance on Saturday with the new scoreboard with the football photos. So that was kind of cool to watch that all, the stuff going and action was cool.
And there's a picture of the cafeteria tables if you haven't seen them. If you haven't seen them, take a walk down there too. It's pretty cool. That's all I got.
All right, so our last comprehensive planning goal was family and community engagement. You have heard other people foreshadow we have to recognize the work of the Portrait of a Graduate design team and shift away from the bullseye logo that we used to have, and we've been taking it down aggressively across the district. You'll notice that we've rebranded at this point not only the signage on the outside, and there'll be some pictures on the next slide, also the Mustang on the outside of the auditorium wall. All of the flags around, our ID badges, our lanyards, all go with the Plum script. Cafeteria furniture, our presentation, so our Google Slides format. The light poles, our website, and the application. Again, there'll be examples of that coming up next. And finally, the letterhead. Our letterhead now has the Plum script at the top and our 5 ideals of the Portrait of a Graduate at the bottom. It's very important to notice that the rebranding efforts have been supported by external funding. District funds were not used in that realm. We've been very blessed to have a lot of external revenue resources, and also responsible for that is the fees we collect from our facility usage. These are a couple examples. If I can't really see it here when I use the thing, but you'll see it, the Plum Mustang. Shout out to Mrs. Macro for designing that awesome flag. It's all stainless steel hardware that goes in all the poles so they don't rust. Our digital backpack, including with Plum. Obviously the outside of the auditorium wall. The Plum app, that's sort of our dashboard, has the Plum script at the top. And then both marquees at the front entrance of Elicker and the main road, as well as along Elicker on this side, have been updated as well. And as always, that is the conclusion of our presentations. Any questions for us?
I would add, first of all, Dr. Boyers, Dr. Thomas, Mr. Manzer, thank you for sharing the good work that you've led over the summer. This is not an actionable item. This was informative. And I think it's helpful for the board to reflect as we enter a new school year of all the good work that has been done in this room. None of it would have been possible without the hard work of teams of individuals throughout the district bringing good recommendations to this board. I am very excited about the rebranding. I've heard nothing but positive comments about the horse being back on the high school roof. You know, the logo, the script. Somebody just told me recently, and it was somebody that graduated many years ago, that they were recently on the high school campus and how proud they were to see all the good things that are happening around the district. And I would end with Not only does the good work end here in the In Plum magazine, there will be 8 pages highlighting all the good things that have occurred and highlighting the good work that has occurred in the district, and that should be coming out any day now, Ms. Macro. So something to look forward to.
Can I add one comment? I love the flag so much. I feel like that needs to be on our spirit shop. I do. I like it that much, and I think like people would put those in their yards.
I do too.
I like it.
Thanks, Ms. Macro. All right,
Sorry.
that's- No, that's
another
perfect.
assignment, But I do think people would buy them.
Yeah. Academic achievement activities, I don't have a board report, but I'll remind each of you as we go through, because we have a consent agenda, just to share those as we go. Community engagement, inclusion, and outreach. Dr. Richardson is not with us tonight, correct? She's not online either? I don't see her. Okay. Was there anything, administration, from that? Okay, awesome. We'll move forward. Finance, Mr. Stropke, lead board liaison.
Letter A is the monthly budget reports for June and July. And if there's no questions, do we have 5 to move it forward? All right,
But can I ask a question in general?
sure.
How long till we have a financial problem when the state budget continues to go? And I know you're anticipating these questions eventually to start coming.
We talked already.
Because we had we actually had a
Semi
conversation.
in my
Part of our
report,
AIU
but-
leadership board conversation was what PASBO is trying to do and what others are trying to do to push that dialogue in Harrisburg. So while it's kind of legislative, but at the same time it's finance, so I'm curious where we are with that.
Yeah, we really wouldn't have a concern, I would even say, until 2026. There's a little bit of a cash flow impact with interest there, a little bit of loss of interest that's really not significant. But, I don't think there would be any significant impact to our district for, at least the foreseeable future. And then beyond that, we'd start evaluating what our plans might be. But I anticipate a solution, but,
Your anticipation's better than mine. I'm going with
hopefully,
yours.
by 2026.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, maybe we're on the same page. Sorry, Mark.
That's
I just-
okay. No, I was gonna finish.
I just said
No.
a large concern, and many directors around the area are talking about that,
Sure.
so.
Yeah. I mean, as you stated, the state's still, part of my report, the state's still at an impasse on the budget. We're a month and a half. New fiscal year started in July. We're in mid-August. There seems to be no
No, there's some
end in
rumors that
sight
they
as
won't
of
do
yet.
anything till October.
Yeah.
So
The
it's bad.
Senate Pro Temp, Kim Ward, did ask if they can't get to a resolution soon, if they'll pass at least a partial budget, but it seems like the governor's office doesn't like that approach. So again, it's still the impasse that we're sitting at. As you mentioned, what do we do? I think as a board and as the administration has done over the last few years, we've put our fund balance is in a good, stable position, and we're in a good financial position, that if we had to borrow, we can borrow from ourselves.
Right.
And then pay it back once the money comes back. So that helps grateful. I'm sure there's some districts that aren't in that same situation who are fretting right now of what's going to happen.
Right.
So-
I just think it's good dialogue to have in the public, so the public knows that we are paying attention, we are watching, and in addition, we should just be cautious of our spending as well. Don't take something away from our kids or not spend for our kids, but at the same time be cautious, as we just don't know what this looks like.
Sure.
So I guess everybody will keep in watch.
Which is always challenging, as you know, we put our budget together based on what we think we're going to get, and then it's delayed, and then we're sitting here.
And the
like,
swirl of
eating your
rumors and
finger- biting
timelines.
your
just-
fingernails and seeing what you can do to
what
make
it's
it
doing.
work.
Yeah.
And some good news, the federal government did release some Title II funding that was frozen. So we've gotten, I think, about about 77,000 this year out of that, and the increase over all the title federal programs is about 55,000. So, or I might have it backwards.
Correct, yeah, it was at risk of being eliminated or frozen. It was frozen for a period of time. They did release that 77,000 to us. The overall impact for title programs, because there was an elimination of Title IV, we did receive an increase of 55,000.
Yeah. And then just finally, what's happened since, over the summer, just recently, is the district did complete the second $10 million general obligation bond. So we're 2/3 of the way there.
Right.
So I'm sure in the coming months, maybe as soon as next month, we'll probably be getting an update on the projects. That's all I have.
We've gone 9 months before, so let's see.
Yeah.
I'm going to call a quick audible here and shift our personnel portion of the discussion meeting up because our two assistant principal candidates are sitting there. And although I'm sure they have enjoyed listening to the conversation about our monthly budget.
No, I'm sure they're not, but anyway.
And we're doing it a little bit unconventional. Because we're going to pass a consent agenda, I want these women to be able to share just their excitement with being able to be a part of the Plum Borough School District. So what I just would like to ask, if you guys are all right with it, if we can say if we have 5 to move both candidates forward. So if you can raise your hand if we have 5. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so, and we'll do the official vote in about half an hour, 45 minutes, but you can be on your way home. So what I'd like to do is hand it over to Mr. Caligiuri, and you can, introduce them if you'd like to.
Yeah, if you can both please come up, introduce yourself. We just ask that you give a little bit of background on your experience and tell us, not us, but tell the community why you chose Plum Borough.
Good evening, members of the board, faculty, families, and community members. My name is Colleen Pegger, and I am truly honored to be here tonight as the new assistant principal at Plum Senior High School. I'm coming from 11 years in Pittsburgh Public Schools, most recently as an acting assistant principal at Oliver Citywide Academy. I am so grateful for the opportunity to join the Plum School District. Being chosen for this role is both humbling and energizing, and I couldn't be more excited to be part of such a proud and supportive community. Although I've only been here a few days, I've already seen how deeply this district values preparing students for life beyond high school. The portrait of a graduate isn't just words on a paper, it's a vision that shapes how we help students grow into resilient, responsible, and engaged young adults. I look forward to learning from and working alongside all of you to bring that vision to life every day for our students. Thank you for welcoming me so warmly, and I'm thrilled to be a Mustang.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rachel Lintelman. I am incredibly honored to be here tonight to accept the role of assistant principal at Plum Middle School. This is such an exciting moment for me, both professionally and personally. I grew up in Penn Hills. My husband was born and raised right here in Plum Borough. And now with our own young children, spending so much time here, visiting the library, playing in the parks, taking part in community events, this place already feels like home to us. That's why this opportunity means so much to me. I know firsthand how special this community is, and I'm grateful for the chance to serve the students, families, and staff who make it that way. I would like to extend my sincerest thanks to the board, to Dr. Walsh, to Dr. Thomas, to Dr. Boyers, and the entire hiring committee for giving me the opportunity to join such a committed and forward-thinking team. As I step into this role, my commitment is to build strong relationships with our students, families, and staff, and to work collaboratively so that every student feels supported, challenged, and inspired. I look forward to partnering with each of you to provide the very best for our students because they are and always will be the reason we do this work. Thank you again for this incredible opportunity. I'm excited to get to work, and I'm proud to now call myself a part of the Mustang family. Thank you.
You are welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting. You are free to go at any point that you need to.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
absolutely.
so much.
Yeah, it was wonderful to meet you guys tonight. I'm excited for you to get to be with our students next week and appreciate all the work you guys have already done so far.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will move on to Forbes Road CTC, Ms. Chudowitz, lead board liaison. Sorry about that.
That's okay, no problem. I'm good with the audible. So I just don't have a very long report. We did have a meeting on July 8th. The new term for Forbes also begins on August 20th, so I want to wish both Plum students and Forbes students, a happy first day. Their enrollment for next year is 1,100, which is the biggest enrollment that in Forbes wrote history. Just echoing our commitment to providing all of our students with, world-ready opportunities. There are several construction projects also moving along there. A lot of the work back in July had already been completed, so when we have our next meeting on the August 28th, I'll be excited to see what work they've had completed so far. They've hired a logistics warehouse instructor. A lot of the staff was trained in crisis de-escalation techniques for their students, and they've hired 2 security guards, one armed and one not. And like I said, the next meeting is on August 28th. That's all I have. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you so much. Intergovernmental, Mr. Stropke and Ms. Arendt, co-lead board liaisons. Yeah.
So there is a correction on the agenda, and I tried to communicate this to the board in advance. Dr. Thomas serves as the district representative working on the borough's comprehensive planning. And at that time, there was interest in getting a student voice. Today, I asked for clarification because many of the board members had the same questions that we did in regards to the appropriateness of asking our middle-level learners to answer some of the survey questions. After we received clarification, it was that they are asking us to assist in pushing this survey out to the parents in the community. I talked to Dave Sabosley right before this meeting, and he did confirm that. So where it says that this survey is for our students, it is not. And we apologize for the information, but we were just moving forward with what we believed were the interest of the borough at the time. Thank you.
Or does that mean we're striking it? We're voting it down, or what
It's
do we?
just, it's more of an informational piece because
Okay.
it's not a survey for the students, it's a survey for the parents, unless Mr. Geis believes differently.
No?
Okay.
So we would just send it out, basically.
Basically, we'll help them assist in pulling their information. And we want to work.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, okay.
I have to say, I was kind of like laughing as I was reading this, thinking of my 9th grader trying to answer some of these, and I'm like, oh, boy. So.
I would say that we were preparing a cover letter in regards to that. We considered this a learning opportunity for students and parents to talk about the impact that local government has on their lives.
And that would be what we would have to do as a parent,
Yeah.
to have that dialogue with your child
Yeah.
to fill some of this out, which is great, but,
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Do we have to move anything forward?
No.
We're just.
Information only, yes.
Okay. Anything to report this evening?
Not this time, we have meetings. Well,
September 23rd?
September.
September, yes.
All right, next up, legislative, Ms. Stepnick, lead board liaison.
No, we've already covered that stuff.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay, perfect.
It was sort of mixed in with Mark.
Yeah, operations, Mrs. Purcell, lead board liaison.
Hello. Under operations, we have letter A, 2025 to 2026, arbitrary pay and impact testing annual renewal agreement. Under letter B, we have 2025-28 Hyundai Agile Sports Technology Camera Agreement. And under letter C, we have 2025 through 2028 G&G Fitness Agreement renewal for Plum Middle School. Are there any questions?
Those are just all annual renewals, right? Or there's.
Yes, the Arbiter is and G&G are things that we have in place. Huddle we currently do have in place. This is just a purchase of 2 new cameras, one for swimming and one that's a portable camera that can be used for away games.
What, for away games? Yeah, that's what I wondered what the portable one's use was for. Okay. And do we know what sports plan to implement it and use the away game camera?
I don't have that information for you, but I can gather it and give it to you in
That'd be
the
great.
executive summary.
Okay, thanks, yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Mr. Manzer, what is Arbiter Pay and Impact Testing Annual Renewal Agreement?
So the main piece is the Arbiter Pay, which is that's simply an online system and how we pay our refs.
Okay.
So they're basically 1099 contractors, and we pay them through Arbiter as opposed to paying them for the school district. And it's an electronic method, which is much more convenient. And then impact testing is the concussion testing, correct?
And it's biannual, unless there's been a reason for an annual for kids.
I tried to look everywhere, but I couldn't figure out what it was. I knew it was some kind of contract with athletics. I didn't know.
That's how we register our kids. That's
Okay.
how, yeah,
Okay.
all one place.
Do we have 5 to move it forward? Do we need to do that? Okay. I also, at this time, would like to, I want to thank the district's custodial maintenance team. Am I saying that in the right area, Mr. Manzer?
Yep.
Okay. I wanted to thank the district's custodial and maintenance team, led by Miss Shelley Schaefer and Miss Carly Carnes, for all of their hard work for this summer, cleaning our buildings and coordinating and completing all the projects listed in the district update. We are happy to report that our buildings are clean, safe, and ready to welcome students back for their first day.
Thank you, Ms. Purcell. Okay, we already did personnel, so we'll move on to policy. Ms. Arendt, Lead Board Liaison.
Yeah, we have 5 policy items on the agenda tonight, consisting of 3 revisions and 2 reviews. Do we have any discussion on these policies?
I had made a comment, hold on, because I couldn't add a comment, but it's probably user error than anything else.
827, adding students, is that it?
Yes. That's
Yeah.
I was trying to find the line on
Ms.
827.
Stepnick sent us an email this morning, and it was a very good suggestion that in regards to any retaliation, that, we should include our students if they have any conflicts or if they report any concerns. So I've actually talked to Mr. Dice about it, and there wasn't any concerns.
That was my only suggestion.
Okay. This is the first reading. Do we have to take 5 to move it forward?
We'll
Or
move
no?
forward next time. It's just-
Okay.
Yep. Do you have anything else to
No
report?
report, nope.
Okay, wonderful. Projects and Planning, Dr. Richardson and Mrs. Purcell, co-lead board liaisons. Ms. Purcell, do you have any report?
There's no report, but I would like to just say something.
Yeah, go for it.
Bi-weekly meetings have continued. The update on O-Block elementary projects is that bi-weekly meetings have continued throughout the summer. HDG architects have completed the 95% drawings for O-Block elementary project and have turned them over to Eccles Construction Management to provide a cost estimate. This information will be provided to the buildings in September, along with an authorization to seek bids for the project.
Perfect, thank you. Student Services, Mrs. Stepnick, Lead Board Liaison.
These, again, are another 3 more annual renewals for student services. The Watson Institute, New Story, and Devereux TCV Student Assistance Program, our SAP program. Any questions? Okay, at 5 to move them forward to vote? Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, before we move on to action, anything uncovered or that I feel like we were a little disjointed this evening. We're good? Okay, so we're going to.
Audible worked out
Right,
fine.
it did.
Yeah, we're
The
good.
audible played out okay. I should have thought of it earlier. They started to glaze over at a certain point, and I was like, now's the time. We should let them go. Carry over the roll call and pledge of allegiance from the discussion meeting. So I will just say to recommend approval of the following items 2 through 13 as listed below. Yeah, okay. I thought I had to read the voting minutes. As 2 through 13 as listed below. Could I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm going to do my best here.
Same.
So for personnel agenda, so it's under the personnel agenda, it would be item number 6.
So 10A, 6.
10A6. I'll be voting no to, do I have to go, I can't,
There's only two people listed, correct?
Items
Yeah,
9
so
and
it's
10.
Numbers 9 and 10, under the first position, which is cheerleading all year. And then I'm voting no to, I'm gonna go backwards. Personnel, item A, number 1, resignations, numbers, letters A and B, I'm voting no to.
So Mrs. Macro, I'm doing the same thing.
I
So
know,
I'm not
it's really
repeating it twice.
confusing.
No to,
So 10A, 1A and B, and 10A, 6,
yes.
and however you need to enumerate the 2 on the coaches list.
6 numbers, hold on,
I think you said 9 and 10.
9 and 10.
Yep.
We'll report it.
Got it?
in the notes.
Yeah, I mean, I can provide clarification, but I'm really.
Okay.
I will,
And then go ahead, Bob. Yep.
I'll be abstaining from 10A2, letter A and B. So I'll be abstaining.
Any other votes against or abstentions? Okay. Then, if you go all the way to the bottom, we are at upcoming public meetings, a discussion meeting Tuesday, September 9th, 2025, here in the library at 7 PM, and an action meeting on Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, at 7 PM here in the library. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, have a good evening.
Yes, welcome. You did great for your